Hey, 4th and 5th grade, it is Friday and we have made it through our second week of digital learning. I hope that by now things are starting to go smoothly for you. Things are starting to make sense with where you need to click and what you need to do. And I just wanted to say you guys have been doing so well with this change, and I know that this isn't ideal. I would much rather be with you guys and hug on you and get to teach you, but we're doing the best we can, and you guys have been doing so well. So today in math, we're going to continue looking at dividing with decimals. And instead of looking at dividing decimals by 10 today, we're going to be looking at dividing decimals by 100 and by 1000. So yesterday you did workbook page 35. And so today we're going to look at a couple of problems before we go to our workbooks again. And we're going to do some workbook pages a little bit later today. So let's go ahead and open up our textbook to page 67. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and look at number 14 together. So let's go ahead and get set up for the day. Let's write 308 divided by 100 now. So instead of 10, we've got 100, but the rule still applies that since we are dividing, we're gonna be moving to the left. Now notice, these are two whole numbers, okay? Remember how I showed you yesterday that this number and this number are the same thing? Well, this number and this number are also the same thing. So if you ever see a whole number that does not have a decimal, then what you're going to do is you're going to realize that the decimal is always going to come right here after your ones place, and then you can move it accordingly, whether you're multiplying or dividing. So let me go ahead and rewrite this number so that it has a decimal, because I know that I'm going to have to rewrite it using a decimal. So 308.0 divided by 100. Okay, so I have 2 zeros in my 100, and I know that I'm dividing, so I'm going to be moving left. So I am going to take my blue marker and put it on my decimal, and I'm going to move it over 2 times. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2. Outstanding. I'm going to go ahead and erase this so that I can see it pretty well. And I can go ahead and rewrite this 3.080. And remember what I told you, that if you have a 0 on the end here, or maybe over here, you do not need to have it unless your 0 is here in the ones place like we talked about yesterday. So since I do not need to have it here, I can go ahead and erase it because this is the same thing as this. And so your answer for number 14 would be 3 8/100. All right, let's go ahead and try a couple others together, and then I'm going to let you try a few on your own. Let's take a look at 15. So this time we have 3.8 divided by 100. And I know that since I'm dividing, I'm going to be moving my decimal place left. Great. Now, how many places am I going to move it? 2, because I have 2 zeros right there in my 100. So I'm going to rewrite my decimal so it might be easier to see as I move it. And I'm going to put my blue marker on my decimal, make it a little bigger to see. And I'm going to move it over twice. Here we go. 1, 2, decimal. Now you might remember from when we were doing our multiplying decimals by tens, hundreds, 100 or 1,000, that if you had a blank spot here in one of your little jumps, that all you need to do is write the number 0. And don't forget, like we talked about yesterday, I am going to make sure to put a 0 in my ones place to show everybody that I have 0 ones. So your answer for 15 would be 0.038. All right, I would like for you to try numbers 16 and 17 on your own now, please. Pause the video. Great job, guys. Okay, so I'm going to have 30.8 divided by 100. And I have 2 zeros in my 100, and I'm dividing, so I'm going to be moving left. I'm going to rewrite my decimal to make it a little bit easier to see. Let's use brown. We haven't gotten to use him a lot. And I'm going to make my decimal big and realize that I need to move it to the left 2 places. Here we go. 1, 2. decimal. Okay. All right, there's my new decimal. Can I leave it like this though? No. You guys? Okay. Yeah, sorry. Woo, that was so weird. I looked back at my book and I got confused on what problem we were on. Okay, yeah. Can I leave it like this? No, I can't. I need to go ahead and put a 0 in the ones place to show everybody that I do not have anything in my whole places, that I don't have anything in my ones, tens, hundreds, or thousands. Okay, let's go ahead and check 17. So I had 2,016 divided by 1,000. Now I know that we had previously worked with 100, but you guys can do this. So let's go ahead and see. I have 1, 2, 3 zeros, so I'm going to be moving my decimal place. I'm going to be moving my decimal place over 3 times. Now, is this my decimal? No, that is just a comma to show that I'm separating my thousands and my hundreds. So if I look at this number, where would my decimal actually be? This is a comma, not a decimal. Good, my decimal is going to be right after my whole number. And I can put a 0 because this number and this number are the exact same thing. I have nothing in my tenths. I just had to make it a decimal instead of just being a whole number. They're the same thing though. So now I'm ready to move. I have 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my marker on my decimal and I am going to move it 3 times to the left. 1, 2, 3. That's funny. It goes right where the comma was. Okay, so I should end up with 2.0160. And in order to make that a little bit easier to see, I'm going to go ahead and erase this 0 because that is the same thing as this. And I can see that my final answer is 2 16,000ths. Okay, so this is what we should have gotten for number 17. All right. For your independent practice today, I know that this is a little bit of a shorter lesson, and that's okay because really this is something at this point you guys are most likely understanding pretty easily, and I want to go ahead and keep moving on as we are moving through our math for the rest of the year. So what I would like for you to do is I'd like for you to open up your workbook, and I would like for you to go ahead and do page 37 today in your 5B workbook, 37. Go ahead and do that and pause the video. All right, so here are your answers for page 37 in your workbook. You can freeze the video. Please make sure that you are getting these right. And if you're missing anything, let me know and we can do a math chat together, okay? All right, guys, happy Friday. Have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you on Monday for more learning. Bye, guys.